Alright guys, we're back and we're going to be reacting to woke TikToks today. So let's keep it chill while we listen to some, shall we call them hot takes? Let's get into it.
Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better.
Guys, before we get into today's video, please like and subscribe, because today I'm talking to you on this itsy-witsy teeny-weeny this tiny little mic, because I've been having audio issues apparently while I've been traveling. So now we have a new little mic. Hopefully this is solving our audio issues and we can react to some TikToks today. We're gonna start off with this TikTok about how white people take up too much space. I hadn't heard that.
It's so annoying how white people think that they could just take up so much fucking space. Whether that be on the sidewalk, on the train, when there's a crowded train, they'll leave their backpacks on, like, bitches leave their bags on their shoulder. You see as mad people on the train, like, you'll be in Starbucks, for example, and then they all gathered around in a fucking circle in the middle of the fucking floor, like, bitch, can you move? Like, I don't understand. Like, the world is not revolved around them, so it's like...
Right. I don't know. Just say you hate white people. I don't know. I've seen issues like this where people take up too much space amongst all races. This is not an issue or problem that is exclusive to white people. And I've seen other people sort of share a take like this. I've seen TikToks where they say white people don't move when you're both walking the same way down a sidewalk. I don't know. I've seen many a different race, many a different cultural background act the exact same way, so I don't think this is a white person issue. I think you should just say you don't like white people. And when you don't like a certain group of people or a certain race of people at that, their issues or when you're irritated is going to stick out way more than when you're looking at any other race, because you just have that filter over your eyes. You have that lens on, you have that worldview. So I think that's the reason why you think white people take up too much space. You're racist. Anyways, next TikTok. This next one says, if you voted Republican, you should not go to Mexican restaurants. Ay, Dios mío.
If I ever see a MAGA person in a Mexican restaurant, I will literally start a revolution right there. Because you cannot tell me that you voted for people who, whether they are citizens or not, to get deported out of this country to Mexico, and also voted for tariffs against Mexico, where we get a large majority of our produce, especially avocados, to just, you can't enjoy Mexican restaurants if you voted that way. You cannot go with your little girly pops and get chips and queso and margaritas and be like, this and girl time. Like, no. You don't get to do that. You lost that right to do that. You do not get to enjoy Mexican food, Mexican culture, anything related to Mexico if you voted for Donald Trump. If you voted for Donald Trump, you do not get to enjoy an all-inclusive resort in Tulum or, I don't know, fucking Cancun or anywhere else in Mexico. You do not get to do that. You should not be allowed to do that. I think Mexico should be able to pull and see, how did you vote? And if you voted for Donald Trump, you are not allowed in their country, because you do not get to benefit off of Mexican culture and Mexican experiences, including Mexican travel and vacations, when you voted for Donald Trump. You don't. You can't vote against people and a culture that you want to take advantage of because you're a rich white person. No, it's not how it works.
Okay, so I do get the point she's making. It's a little bit giving, who's gonna scrub your toilets, Donald Trump? It's giving that a little bit, because when she's talking about Mexican culture, she's just talking about like food in Cancun and Tulum. But I get what she's saying. A lot of people have Mexican experiences by going to Mexican restaurants and I guess vacationing in Tulum and Cancun. Now, it's missing the glaring observation that there are Mexican individuals who voted for Donald Trump. That is correct. I don't know why I needed a southern accent to say that, but there are indeed Mexican people who voted for Donald Trump. In fact, he flipped the Latino vote like crazy this last go-around in the election. So what does she have to say to that? When she says they're deporting people whether or not they're citizens or not, incorrect. We're just looking to deport people who are in this country illegally. And even more so than that, this administration is starting with people who are criminals in this country and not not just the civil infraction of entering the country illegally, but actually going on to commit crimes in this country beyond being in the country illegally. And there are plenty of Mexican people who came to this country legally or who were born in this country who, you know what, they agree with that. So can your girl still go to a Mexican restaurant with her girly pops and have a margarita? I think so. Next. All right, I don't know what this next one's about, but I'm sure it'll be fun. Let's watch.
I've had this thought swirling around in my head for probably months at this point, but I've just now been able to really put words to it, and I want to tell you about it. I think one of the strangest things about living in America as a police state, and also one of the easiest things that we could just get rid of and would fix a lot of problems, would be to just not let officers take their police vehicles home with them. Like, I know that there is a police officer that lives in my neighborhood. You know how I know? Because they have their police vehicle in their front driveway all of the time. Stop giving cops the ability to use intimidation in their own home when they're supposed to be considered a civilian at that point.
All right, that's that video. I mean, I don't know that I necessarily feel strongly about this particular topic anyways. I think there are a lot of police departments or police stations where cops do leave their police vehicles at the station and then they go home in their regular car. Me personally, okay, if I'm living in a neighborhood and there is a police car that's parked a couple houses down or whatever, I am thanking my lucky stars, okay? Because I feel like I live in a place where if somebody was up to no good, you know, up to a little bit of tomfoolery, a little bit of mischievousness, okay? They might see that cop car and, you know, just hit the road, Jack. So I would actually prefer there to be a cop car in my neighborhood. I guess this young woman feels intimidated by that because she believes we live in a police state, which is just something that I think has been just thrown into the air since Donald Trump got elected this last time around. Honey, we do not live in a police state. I don't know, do just a little bit of reading about police states at this moment and then get back to me on that one. But you're good. Next. Oh, this next one is bringing up Little Miss Sydney Sweeney and her eugenics ad. Let's watch.
Good genes passed on to offspring? That American Eagle ad with Sydney Sweeney is literally overt eugenics. I know you don't want to hear this, but if you want to talk about how that ad is promoting eugenics, which it absolutely is, we also have to talk about how choosing not to wear a mask when you can during an ongoing pandemic, because you're okay with a certain subset of people, primarily disabled people of color, dying for your own comfort, is also eugenics. Just the more normalized kind. Bye.
Whoa! That's like leftist inception, woke inception. We got multiple messages mixed in here. We started off with the good/great genes from Sydney Sweeney, which is not eugenics, and it's not a message promoting eugenics. You can check out my whole video that I did on that. I don't think I want to unpack that all over again. But apparently, if you don't wear a mask, that means you're okay with certain groups of people losing their lives, and that makes you a eugenicist. Do we really need to go through this whole song and dance? Again, you guys know how I feel about masks. Mask mandates. I don't agree with this young woman whatsoever. You're not a eugenicist, Nazi, white supremacist, or anything of the sort because you feel like the government shouldn't be able to mandate that you wear a mask over your face at all times. We went through this whole back and forth over masks and whether or not they work, whether or not you should be able to mandate that for people. We went through the negative impact of what wearing masks did for just human beings in general, but for children and their development. It's a whole ass mess. Wear one if you want to wear one. That's where I stand. Okay, next. We're gonna stay on our Sydney Sweeney genetics thing, because apparently there's a second ad talking about genetics that people got all up in arms about, so let's watch.
Look, I didn't ask to be the king of summer. It just kind of happened. This tan? Genetics. I just got my color analysis back. Guess what? Golden summer. Literally.
Who the fuck's coming out with one next? They're getting bold. They were already bold, but they're getting fucking bold right now. Holy shit.
Okay, I'm assuming by they, she means like white supremacists because he said his tan is genetics, which is just simply true. You know, if you go out into the sun and your skin responds a certain way, a large part of that is due to genetics. In fact, I thought the left would be a little bit more chill about this whole genetics point. For a long time, we've been pushing certain beauty standards and showing objective beauty standards, which the left has been all up in arms about, saying that they reject all beauty standards and that everything is beautiful and everybody's different and we all have different genes and different genetics. But as soon as you start talking about somebody having good genetics, or when he says, hey, my tan is due to genetics, you know, I didn't do anything to get this, it's just genetic. You guys are upset about that. So which one is it? I'm confused. I don't know what you guys actually want. And of course, there's going to be more ads like this because I think brands are just going to start playing on the fever of leftists whenever they see something like this, and they're just going to lean into it more. I've never seen Sydney Sweeney in more advertisements than I'm seeing her in right now. And why is that? It's because y'all got upset. It's because you brought the pitchforks out, okay? And the little torches, okay? The more you do that, the more you're going to see stuff like this. It's as simple as that. We got one more for you guys tonight, and we'll keep it short and simple. This one's only 10 seconds. Let's see.
I am a woman, and I use the women's restroom. And I guarantee you, not one of you will stop me.
All right. That was a little bit threatening. I'm a woman and I will be using the women's restroom. I disagree with both of those statements. First of all, this individual is clearly not a woman. Do we need to go back and forth through this? I find with a lot of these woke TikTok reactions, I'm like, okay, I think we've been here before, and I think we all know the stance on this one. Clearly, this individual is confused into thinking that they are actually a woman, and they certainly do not belong in the women's restroom. For if I were a woman, or, you know, in the future, if I'm a mother with a young child, a young daughter, and I'm in the restroom, and this individual walks into the restroom, I'm not going to feel too good about that. I'm not going to feel too safe about that. And this person is saying, what? Let's roll that back one more time. What'd they say?
And I guarantee you, not one of you will stop me.
Talk about running into the point. I guarantee you not one of you will stop me. And why is that? Why would a woman feel a little bit scared to stop you or feel a little bit incapable of stopping you in the moment of you coming into her restroom? It's the very same reason we keep men out of restrooms, okay? They are stronger, they are more dominant, some of them are predatory. And in this case, when you say, I guarantee you not one of you is gonna stop you, well, damn straight, because not nearly one of us could. You're a whole ass man. Now, there would be some brave women who say, get the hell out of my bathroom, and I would hope to be one of those people in that situation, especially with somebody who's coming in with this sort of aggressive energy. What are we talking about? You're running into the point and then it's completely going over your head. As did the concept of the gender binary. Guys, this has been fun. Can we say that? You know what? I did have fun. I had fun reacting to these TikToks. I hope you did too. Drop your thoughts on these videos in the comments down below. I would love to hear from you guys. As always, if you disagree with anything I said in this video, duke it out, but do so respectfully. I encourage healthy debate on this channel. And if you like this video, like, subscribe, click the notification bell to be notified every single time I post a video for you guys, which is every day. And let me know if you like the teeny weeny tiny little mic. Do I sound crisp and clean? Guys, let me know. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better.